Hello, and welcome to Tips for the Transition. I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan, life transition coach for professional women, and your host. Let's get right into our discussion. The title is Legally Speaking, Legal Resources and Human Elements. We're talking about this today because I personally felt very uncomfortable and a little scared about what I didn't know when it came to the legal matters around some of the transitions I've been through. And I hear this from my clients as well. What do we need to know when we're going through a divorce? Or we have lost a loved one and there's an estate to manage? Or we're preparing for retirement, just to name a few. My guest, Elizabeth Westby, is going to help us answer a few questions about this human journey into the legal realm. Elizabeth is an attorney who specializes in family law, estate planning, and probate. What strikes me as unique is that Elizabeth believes that as an attorney, her primary role is to be a resource for her clients, to guide them to make the best decisions for their particular situation. She's one of those caring attorneys who restores our faith in the legal system. So let's get her on now. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Maria. Thank you very much for the kind introduction and for having me on today.
You are so welcome. I'm glad you're here because this is an area that a lot of people are concerned about and have questions about. So I'd love to just jump right into it with you. Are you okay with that?
Please, yes.
So in your experience, what are some of the reasons that women in transition might want to hire an attorney?
A woman in a transition really wants to talk with an attorney because she's finding herself in an unusual situation. She's uncertain and, she wants to gain some perspective and she's trying to make decisions, but because she doesn't really know what she's navigating through, that's kind of the basis of a transition or any type of a crisis, honestly. She needs sort of guidance. So, this may be an actual legal issue that she has to come talk about. Maybe it's property division, or, maybe it is her mother's estate plan. It could be really anything on the legal side, but sometimes it's really just planning and bouncing ideas off your attorney. And what I do want to say is that even if, she thinks that a question is stupid or basic, or that she should know this, and she should be expected to know it, especially us as professional women, we're excellent at presenting ourselves as very knowledgeable in our workplace. But then, of course, there are those things in our personal lives that we're not so sure about. And that's the time when you're sitting down and you're alone with your attorney to ask those questions that maybe you might be embarrassed of. And the reason is not because you're trying to overcome some sort of barrier of embarrassment, but because your attorney needs to know. Your attorney needs to know what you understand, where you're coming from, and you need to understand the advice coming from counsel. So it's very important to have that open dialogue. And guarantee the attorney's heard it before, kind of like going to the doctor, a knee is a knee. So the idea is really to, at least in my opinion, to leave the client in a better position than when they came to me originally. And so understanding each other is important. And then really consulting with a legal professional in a time of transition can be a means of simply navigating through that transition, gaining that peace of mind that you know that you're not going to make a decision without knowing your options and risks. And this really ultimately getting the woman in transition really helps place her in a better position for that next phase in her life.
Well, unfortunately, our time has come to the end here. We try to keep these videos pretty short and consumable for our listeners, but I know there's just a lot more we could share.
Yes.
and you and I could probably chat for hours, and we have. But I want to leave our listeners with the offer of your free gift to help them for their human journey into the legal realm. So to request your free gift from Elizabeth, please take note of the link at the bottom of the screen or click on it in the description below the video.
And if you have questions about it, I am, again, a resource.
That's great. Thank you so much for being with us today, Elizabeth. And thank you all, our listeners, for watching today. I hope there was at least one little aha moment or one tidbit of advice that you found that will help you better inform you on your journey. So I'd like to leave you with one more thought. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us on a direct path toward the best things that will happen for us in our lives. Till the next time, I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan.